As a child, the carnephelia plunged a sword into thine fried s chest Fridask. How dare you? Carnephelia ask you may also be a Hell's Dante, but that won't help you escape the curse. I'm glad. I would expect no less. Carnephelia Hell's Dante, second princess of the Hell's Dante Empire. I can end Lanfried's life before he gets here. I don't mind being cursed if I can end your life once and for all. Ianfried Dan Hell's Dante, the Emperor of Hell's Dante AKS Ha. Ianfried said, is this your final ploy to get his attention? Carnephelia said, what? What makes you think he'll mourn your death? That would happen only in your dreams, little sister. What makes you think he'll forgive the wife that came from the Empire, that dragged his Aya country into ruins? She thinks you need to focus, Carnephelia. You can't let this bastard get to you. Carnephelia said, I know I'll die if I kill you. The curse will prevent me from being reincarnated into my next life. No one will remember that I existed. Carnephelia asked, but what about it? Who cares about the damned curse? Strike the killing blow. I've heard enough of his conniving lies. Ianfried asked, the Hell's Dante Empire will fall today. We're paying the price for taking advantage of the blessing our God bestowed upon us. Carnephelia thinks he jeered, until the very end. My sibling and I were destined to be enemies. Ianfried thinks I don't have much time left. I can feel the curse pulsing through my veins. It will soon reach my heart. The shouts of the rebellion are getting closer. But it's still quiet here on the final day of the Empire. He should arrive any minute now. Would things have been different if it had killed Ianfried earlier? If I had been stronger, if it had more power, would I have been able to protect you? She asked, is it you? Now, I'm the only Hell's Dante left. It's all over. Ianfried said you may wanted to have your own revenge. I'm sorry I took it away from you. I don't have much time, so please hear me out. I hope you find happiness. I was the cause of your misery, so I truly wish you can finally be happy. She thinks this is enough. I'm sorry. I didn't have the heart to tell him that I love him. Hellies, how strange, I feel like I'm in someone's arms. This warmth, this scent, no, it can't be. I thought I felt something warm brush against my cheek. But it quickly faded away. It's finally over. How did it come to this? All I wanted was to see your smile again. You look like Prince Charming when you smile. Ianfried said, do you want the boy? She wondered, I do. How long has it been? Wait, is this a blanket? Seven said, are you awake, your highness? Nanny replied, it's me, your nanny. Servant thinks, my nanny? Nanny ran for her life while leaving me behind. How is she here now? Carnephelia raised his hand and asked, wait, your highness. Carnephelia thinks I'm a child. Ask, did you have a nightmare, your highness? A white room, and familiar furniture. Yes, it must be. Carnephelia thinks I came back in time. The Hell's Dante Empire ruled by a family blessed by God. Those who murder the Hell's Dante shall be forever cursed. That slogan has been passed down since the Hell's Dante Empire was first founded. It was a warning to those who dreamed of rebelling against the royal family. This so-called blessing of God helped the Hell's Dante family stay in power. Carnephelia Hell's Dante, the second princess of the Hell's Dante Empire. The Hell's Dante trademark is hair like spun gold. Yet, the second princess was born with hair as dark as night, and that princess is yours truly. A servant asked, Your Majesty, Her Highness was born with raven hair. Raven hair is considered unlucky in the Hell's Dante Empire. The king said, she has the same hair color as her mother. I have the perfect name for my daughter. And that's how my father named me, after a poisonous flower, carnephelia. The princess said, that was how the others called me, the damned princess. But while everyone went out of their way to avoid me, there was one person who dared to approach me. The nanny asked, Your Highness, why are you here all by yourself? I've been looking all over for you. My nanny, Carnephelia said, Nanny. The nanny clenched her hand and said, I'm so glad. You finally recognize me, Your Highness. I was so worried, Carnephelia sneezed. Why, Your Highness? Someone asked. Princess Carnephelia said, Nanny, my throat hurts. The nanny replied, What was I thinking? Let me go get something to drink, Your Highness. I'll be right back, the princess asked. Sure. The sneeze came again and she put her hand over her mouth. Carnephelia said, What the hell is this? I'm sure I was cursed after I killed Ianfried with my own 2 hands. The princess thought, bony legs. I'm tiny and frail, too. Let's think things over. I feel pain, so this can't be a dream. It's the curse. Curse? She asked herself, is this how the curse works? This is worse than I thought. If this is the curse of Hell's Dante, I'll gladly endure it. The nanny asked, oh, your highness. Sure you don't need to lie down? The medicine must be working. You won't believe the number of people who sent you medicine to wish you a speedy recovery. The princess said, is that so? The nanny said, I feel energized just by looking at your beautiful smile, your highness. Here. I brought you some water. It's so cold, Carnephelia said, nanny. What day is it today? The nanny asked, what? Oh, you were in bed for over a week. It's only natural that you lost track of time. Don't worry. You didn't sleep through your birthday. We need you fully recovered so you can enjoy the birthday festivities. Carnephelia said, I remember. She smiled back, thinking the nanny was genuinely looking out for her. The nanny asked, now, please drink your water. It breaks my heart to hear your raspy voice. The nanny thought, she makes me want to throw up. She probably mixed poison in this water. Did she think I'd never find out? Nanny, you weakened my mind and body and played me like a puppet. I won't be fooled by you again. Carnephelia said, I think my throat will hurt even more if I drink this. The nanny asked, excuse me? Carnephelia said, why don't you drink it, nanny? The princess said, of course, your highness. The nanny, taking the glass of juice, said, oh, that was so refreshing. My apologies, your highness. I drank the entire glass. Carnephelia said, it's fine. You looked thirstier than I did. The nanny asked, you're too kind, your highness. Oh, silly me. Look at the time. I'll go prepare your meal. Please ring if you need anything, your highness. The princess asked, I will. The nanny thought, thank goodness I didn't mix poison into her water today. I could have ended up poisoning myself. Anyways, that twat isn't her usual self today. It almost sounded like she knew I've been poisoning her. 5 days has passed since I woke up and found myself as a child. I focused on getting my health back on track. Carnephelia thinks I'm tired of being feeble all the time. Nanny ask, try this too, nanny. Nanny ask, of course. Nanny ask, yum. Nanny ask, I don't know who made it, but this dish is absolutely delicious. Now, please have a bite, your highness. Princess said, all right. It's delicious. And thanks, huh? What is this? The food is so bland. Nanny ask, is it to your liking? I'll prepare something even more scrumptious when you've fully recovered. Nanny thinks, well, she won't be poisoning the food for the time being. Carnephelia said she poisoned me until I fell sick, then stopped until recovered. Then she would start feeding me poison again. It was a vicious cycle. This was all for the twisted pleasure of the person who hired Nanny to poison me. Nanny asked, would you like to read a book when you've done with your meal, your highness? Princess said, I want to express my gratitude. Women replied, express your gratitude? To who? Carnephelia said, I'd like to express my gratitude to those who sent me medicine. Womask, oh, well. Carnephelia said they also sent the ingredients for this delicious meal, did they not? Princess thinks she must be flustered, as it was all a lie. Women ask, but your highness, you're still not fully recovered. I'm worried that you'll fall ill again if you venture outside. Carnephelia says, you're right, nanny. Yes, I'll go thank everyone on your behalf. I'd like to pay a visit to just one person today. Womask, excuse me? I can bathe on my own. Carnephelia said, I'm sure you'll be busy clearing the table. Princess thinks it's freezing. The water's as cold as ice. This is nothing. I must endure this. Peoples are taking that hair. Is she that princess? Why is she wearing that awful dress? How did she find her way into the emperor's palace? Shoo, keep quiet. Don't meet her eyes. Why? Etched, did you hear the rumors? That unlucky. Women said, why, your highness? It's not too late to turn back. Carnephelia said, but we're already here. We've arrived at His Majesty's office. Man ask, no one enters His Majesty's office without a prior appointment, your highness. The Grand Chamberlain of the Royal Palace, how pitiless of you. Carnephelia said, it's my very first visit to my father. The least you could do is let him know that I'm here to see him. Doorman ask, well then, please wait here. Women ask, your highness, I think we should head back. We don't want to anger His Majesty. Nanan asked we should leave before he becomes furious with us. Carnephelia said, don't worry, Nanny. I know you'll protect me from His Majesty's wrath. Wom said, oh, of course I'll do my best to protect you, Dash. She thinks stop lying through your teeth. Doorman asked, Your Highness. Ahem. His Majesty will be seeing you now, Your Highness. Is that so? Carnephelia said, I'll see you later, Nanny. Nanny said, don't you want me to come with you? Carnephelia said, I don't want you getting scolded on my behalf. It's best if I go in alone. Here we are at last. Much sooner this time. Curate Alpin Hellsdante, the Emperor of Hellsdante. Second Princess, it's been a while. My father, the man who doomed me for life. Carnephelia said, greetings to the son of our empire. Carnephelia Hellsdante at your service, Your Majesty. King Curate said, what brings you here? Princess Repede, I'm here to inform you that someone's been putting poison into my food and drink. King see him questioningly. Carnephelia said, was it under your orders, Your Majesty? King said, and what if it was? Princess said, thank you for letting me know. I'll be taking my leave now, Your Majesty. King said, wait, you didn't answer my question. Take a seat. Princess thinks I can't afford to make any mistakes. Stay focused. What if I'm the one feeding you poison? King said, will you let yourself be poisoned to death? She thinks he's not being subtle about it. I'm sure he finds it interesting that the daughter he tossed aside came to pay him a visit. Good. Continue to show interest in me. I want you to be invested in my well-being. Look at me and notice that I'm alive and kicking. Carnephelia said, you have the world at your feet, Your Majesty. And that's why, if you wish me dead, I'll do what it takes to make it happen. Thinks how could a young girl speak like that without batting an eye? King showed him reaction. Man thinks the poison has made her frail and her complexion quite pale. How can she be so sassy when she looks like she could faint at any given minute? She's quite something. Princess thinks don't be scared. Stay calm. King said you'll do what it takes to make it happen. If I ordered you to end your own life right now, would you do as I say? King shouts, what is the meaning of this? Doorman asks, why, Your Majesty? Doorman thinks, did she bite her own tongue? King, She said, Faime, Your Highness. Doorman said, you dare to play mind games with me? Princess said, my apologies, Your Majesty. King thinks she's as cunning as a fox. She treads the line, but doesn't step over it. Let me make myself clear. I didn't order anyone to poison you. King asked, now then, tell me. Do you want me to punish the person who made the order? I was waiting for him to say that. Princess Carnephelia said, no, what I want is much more grandiose than that. King said, what? She smiled. I want to be given a chance, Your Majesty. I don't remember what happened next. Nanny shouts, what did you discuss with His Majesty? Did you get in trouble? Were you hurt? Princess thinks Nanny wouldn't stop fussing over me. Oh, the look on her face when the head chamberlain said he'd be visiting shortly. Nanny asked, Your High. Princess replied, Nanny, don't wake me up until tomorrow morning. Wom replied, yes, Your Highness. Please get some rest. King, write it. I want to be given a chance, Your Majesty. Carnephelia. She does the name justice. King said, did you say she has no other servants besides her nanny? Servant replied to King, yes, Your Majesty. And the nanny is, King waves his hand, that's enough. She was poisoned, but it's not life-threatening. It's clear who gave the order, so there's no need for an investigation. Servant asked, yes, Your Majesty. King thinks, I thought she'd ask me to spare her life, not ask for a chance to compete for the throne. Giving birth to Carnephelia was the only thing that wench did right. Man asked, there you are. Carnephelia carnefully see him questioningly, and she thinks I woke up drenched in sweat, all because of a mere nightmare. My body is too weak for my own good. After I went to see the Emperor, Nanny continued to press for details throughout the week. Snanny asked, what did you discuss with His Majesty? She said, but I was too drained to give her a proper answer. Carnephelia said, I do feel better after sleeping and eating properly, and I'm getting adjusted to this young body of mine. It's so cold. I came to the past with the memories of the future intact. But one thing hasn't changed. I'm still alone. Princess thinks, for now anyways. I need to find people who will offer loyalty and trust. And this time around, I'll make sure my curse doesn't affect you in any way. Princess. Nanny asked, Your Highness. Nanny said loudly, wake up, Your Highness. Princess replied, Nanny? It's so early. Nanny asked, well, the thing is, Chamberlain asked greetings to the second princess of the empire. Princess said, "Oh, the Grand Chamberlain is here. Come on in. What brings you here?" Maid thinks they say the princess went to see His Majesty of her own volition. There must be more to her than meets the eye. Princess said, "I finally have guests visiting my quarters. People said they'll be assisting you from now on, Your Highness." Nanny said, "What is the meaning of this dash?" Princess said, "I'm fine as I am. Nanny has been taking such good care of me. You'll never leave me. Am I right, Nanny?" Nane replied, "Oh, of course. Princess Carnephelia say, after all, you've been making all the decisions on my behalf. Who to keep and who to let go, it was all you're doing." Nanny said, "When did I ever do that? It's all a misunderstanding, Grand Chamberlain. Her Highness gets things mixed up from time to time." Chamberlain said, "You may have noticed earlier, but it took a while to arouse her from her sleep." Maid thins, "Why are they staring at me like that? Chamberlain, these people, more so than your nanny, will do their utmost to cater to your every need. And they will be pledged loyalty to Her Highness as they should. We'll nurse you back to health, Your Highness. His Majesty also wanted me to relay a message, Your Highness. We'd like a moment of privacy. You may all take your leave." Maids replied, "As you wish, sir." Nanny Chamberlain began to look at her with sly eyes. Princess said, "Did father send his answer to my request?" Chamberlain said, "He did, Your Highness." Princess replied, "I see. He did give me a chance, but it didn't come for free. I guess I'll have to work harder to prove myself worthy." Chamberlain replied, "If I may have a word, Your Highness. I think it'd be best if you laid low for now, Your Highness. Poison was mere child's play. From now on, everyone in the palace will be watching your every move. In fact, it wouldn't surprise me if there was an assassination attempt in the near future." Princess said, "But what of it?" Chamberlain replied, "Be mindful of the second prince. You must lay low and bide your time." Princess Carnephelia said, "That's more than one word." Chamberlain asked, "My apologies." Princess replied, "Haha, I know you're looking out for me, Grand Chamberlain. And I know it would be safer for me to lay low, but I don't think I can do that." Chamberlain said, "Excuse me?" Princess clenched the letter in his hand. "Why do you think His Majesty sent this to me?" In this later king sent to Princess I Harby acknowledged that Carnephelia Hellsdante, second princess of Heldante, is now in line to the throne. Princess said, "It seems father wants me to survive by fighting tooth and nail against those who tried to do me wrong." The Grand Chamberlain served under the Emperor for years. He was a living witness to the various evils conducted by the Emperor. So he was sure his advice would help save the second princess's life. However, the second princess, only 8 years of age, merely smiled at him after hearing him out. It was as if she had the future all mapped out in front of her. Chamberlain thinks, how can she be so sure of herself? Nanny said, "You never know what life will throw at you. So you should do whatever you can before death comes knocking on your door. Lay low." Chamberlain thinks I was advising her to stay in Ironfried's graces for the meanwhile. Is she really going to throw this opportunity away? Princess said, "I don't plan on laying low, unfortunately." Chamberlain said, "There will be consequences." Princess replied, "Is that so? I can't lay any lower than this. Also, I threw down the gauntlet when I asked for a chance to succeed the throne." The Grand Chamberlain served Emperor Karaid for years. King thinks you need to throw down the gauntlet if you wish to succeed the throne. King said, "And that's why." King thinks again. She said the exact same thing as His Majesty. And he never forgot the moment he realized the princess and her father were cut from the same cloth. Chamberlain thinks she may be a half-blood princess, but she's of royal blood, nonetheless. Princess said, "Grand Chamberlain, my birthday is coming up." Chamberlain said, "Yes, Your Highness. Do you have something in mind for the festivities?" She thinks what I have in mind, and Princess said, "I want a grand ceremony. There's much for me to celebrate this year." Chamberlain thinks, does she wish to celebrate becoming an official member of the royal family? Chamberlain said, "I'll relay your message to His Majesty." Princess said, "Very well. You may leave now." Nanny shouts, "Why, Your Highness?" Princess said, "Why, Your Highness?" Nanny said, "What did you discuss with the Grand Chamberlain?" Princess think I thought she would at least bring me a glass of water. Princess said, "Nanny." Nanny said, "Why, yes, Your Highness." Princess said, "You're the only one I trust. You know that, right?" Nanny said, "Of course I do, Your Highness." Princess said, "I'm sick of living in the shadows, Nanny." Nanny said, "Your Highness, there's nothing here." Princess said, "Yet, father included me in the line of succession. Nanny said, "Pardon me?" He told me I could fight for it. Princess said, "Isn't it wonderful?" Now then. Go on now. Go relay the news to your real owner. This is only the beginning. Greetings to the second princess of Hell's Dante. Princess thinks 5 maids, 6 servants. Where is the knight? This isn't what I expected from the Grand Chamberlain. In thought he'd throw in a knight as a warning. They're well trained and polite. But none of them seem to be fully loyal to me. Princess said you're here in my palace. Does this mean I have your absolute loyalty? Servant replied, yes, your highness. We pledge to serve you the best we possibly can. Princess replied, "Hey, really? Let's see, 2 of you were sent from the Empress's palace. The 3 at the back are from the second prince. The other 2 are from the third princess's palace. You 2 are new, am I correct? And the remaining 2 were sent from His Majesty's palace. Let me ask you again. Do I have your loyalty? Princess carnephelia saw you all were sent here with a purpose, but you're working for me now. From now on, it's entirely up to you." Maids replied, "Yes, your highness." Princess, you'll have to do your utmost to win my trust. If you make me distrust you, then I'll have no other choice but consider you my enemy. It seems we have an understanding. Now, I want the 2 of you to stay. The rest can leave. Let's see. Princess said, "I wonder who sent you to my palace. I can tell that you both are new." Boy asked, "I applied for a job at the royal palace after hearing that it was short-staffed. I didn't ask to be sent here." Princess said, "You can't talk. Am I right?" Boy said, "Mute. She would be the perfect scapegoat." Princess replied, Boy said, "I guess you won't be able to plead innocence if something happened. However, you can speak WTH your actions, am I right?" Boy replied to Princess said, "Speak with actions. You don't know what she's capable of, your highness. She's the type of person you should be looking out for." Princess hugged the maid and asked, "I've been waiting for you." LL. Maid name is Lil. Carnephelia was always alone. That's because everyone who showed her kindness suffered an untimely death. And once she realized her brother Ian Ride was behind it, Carnephelia did her best to push everyone away. "Didn't you hear me?" the princess mocked them. "I told you to get lost. Get out of my sight," she repelled them. But LL refused to leave Carnephelia's side. "Don't stay, it will put your life in danger," she thought. But LL stood by Carnephelia until the very end. "You finally made it, my lovely sister. You finally made it, my lovely sister," Ian Fried sneered. "Mark my words, Carnephelia. You're going to be alone, forever. As long as I'm alive and breathing." "LL," the princess whispered. Carved on LL's arm were the words, "I swear to destroy your enemies until the day I die." She hasn't changed a bit, Carnephelia thought. Mommy must have been a scary person to have prepared you on my behalf. Just what did Mommy teach you for you to be so unconditionally loyal? "You're my people now," Carnephelia said softly. "So I don't want you to harm yourself anymore." "The only person I fully trust," LL nodded, becoming not just her servant, but her most trustworthy ally. Carnephelia pressed his hand and whispered, "Thank you for coming, LL. Help me turn this filthy royal palace upside down." Then she noticed the hidden daggers. "Now I remember. He was an assassin sent by Ian Ride. The room reeks with the smell of blood. I'm losing my appetite." Suddenly, Nanny entered the room and screamed, "Your Highness." "It's time for she froze. Is that a body? What's going on?" Carnephelia quickly hugged her. "Nanny, I was so frightened." That servant suddenly crumbled to the floor, and the carpet started to turn red. Suddenly? Was there an assassination attempt? Then why is the princess still alive? This doesn't make any sense, Nanny thought, shaken. "By the way, I'm hungry," Carnephelia said casually. Nanny blinked. Dining hall, second princess's quarters. "They had to dust off the dining hall so I could have my meal here." Oh, the look on Nanny's face. I'm sure she was wondering why I survived, and the servant did not. "The new staff will try their best to win my trust in order to gain control over me, just like Nanny did. So I'm sure there's no poison in the food." "It looks delicious," Carnephelia said. "Poison or not, I think I could eat to my heart's content." "Why, Your Highness," a servant stammered. "Allow us to check the food for poison," LL urged. "It's fine," Carnephelia replied. "I know you didn't poison my meal." There's no reason to be so worried. I look forward to my next meal. She's so young and frail. Yes, she's still a mere child, the maids whispered among themselves. She hardly touched her food. Was she really being poisoned? She just saw a person die. I'd lose my appetite too. But I need to find my people, Carnephelia thought. I need people who pledge loyalty to me for who I am, but there must be a justifiable reason for their loyalty. LL, Carnephelia said, there's something you need to know. Do you know the blessing Ianfried received from our gods? Those who dare to end his life will be cursed. That is his blessing. And, because of that curse, I'm back in the past living my second life. In my past life, Ianfried took everything I ever loved away from me. I got my revenge by beheading him, but the curse brought me back to the past. I'm sure you're having trouble understanding this, LL. You did your best to protect me in my previous life. But back then, I was weak and powerless, and I could do nothing to prevent your death. I'm not going to let that happen this time around. I'm going to become the emperor, and I'll bring the Hellsdante Empire down in ruins. I shall protect the people I love. So brace yourself, LL. Serving a cursed princess won't be easy. Evelyn Vett was never faithful to Carnephelia. Her Nasquin promised Evelyn a hefty compensation in return for serving Carnephelia. Nanny stood on the ground and thought, this palace is old and unkempt. Evelyn had 3 missions. First, keep an eye on the princess at all times. Second, make sure she stays ill. Lastly, make routine reports on her condition. Evelyn believed the second prince would eventually ascend the throne, so her rewards were guaranteed. Fortunately, the second princess was a mere child, hardly worthy of her Nasquin's efforts. In a twisted way, Evelyn was having the time of her life. Your Highness, Nanny called. The second princess was a half-blood, but royal nonetheless. And Evelyn had a royal under her thumb. It gave her great joy. But suddenly, Nanny wondered, when did the second princess start paying attention to other servants, and why did she go see His Majesty? Evelyn realized that the second princess wasn't her usual self. Has she already entered puberty? I have to get her back under my control. Your Highness, Nanny pressed. You must tell me what happened to you yesterday. I heard that you asked everyone to leave except for the 2 servants. Why didn't you call for me? You could have been in grave danger. Vile thing, she really tries hard. But now's not the time, Carnephelia thought. Were you concerned? Carnephelia asked. Of course I was worried. So tell me, why did you ask those 2 to stay? What would I do without you? Carnephelia cut in. What? Nanny blinked. You always look out for me. You left me in the dining hall on my own, so you could gather information about the dead servant, right? WL. Who is he? Who sent him to my palace? Was it my father? Or Her Royal Highness? Or was it? Your Highness. You must watch what you say, Nanny gasped. Do you wish to know what that servant did in my room? He ended his own life while cursing me. He told me not to leave my quarters again. He said it was a warning, then he slit his own throat. I need to find out who sent him so I can keep myself from harm. I'm sure it will feel like your father was sending you a warning, Nanny thought uneasily. Do you know who sent the servant? How would I know, Your Highness? Anyways, there's a reason why I tried to keep you from visiting His Royal Highness. Why you'll be fine if you stay inside your bedroom. I'll do my best to keep you safe. Carnephelia's eyes sharpened. His Royal Highness wants to formally introduce me to the world. It would go against his wishes if I were to stay in my room. I like having my head on my shoulders. The warning was scary, but I'm fine. You know why? You always told me. You said you'd always keep me safe. Now then, what should I do? Oh, I should take a bath first. Could you fill the tub? LL. Follow Nanny, and when you can, fetch the items I asked for. Carnephelia smirked as Nanny scurried away. Haha, she just ran off. LL nodded silently. No, now's not the time, the Grand Chamberlain thought. Is she now in line to the throne? My. After the death of the first prince, no one dared to act against the second prince. But then, His Royal Highness always had a fickle temperament. That is, until Carnephelia was given the right to succeed the throne. I have no doubt that Prince Ianfried will ascend the throne. However, the emergence of carnephelia threw the nobles in for a loop, and some started to express their doubts. Carnephelia's name came up continuously among the members of high society. How can the second princess be in line to the throne? We've never even met her. She is a half-blood princess. She doesn't have what it takes. Tsk tisk, Nasquin muttered. Why are they constantly gossiping about the royal succession? Ugh, young Nasquin. Be mindful of what you say. Someone might hear you. What did I do? I have no intention of joining in on their foolish gossip. It's not foolish gossip. Your father told you to play nice with the members of high society. I don't get what my father sees in them. Your father has a knack for recognizing people of importance. Is that so? Do you also support the second prince, who, by the way, is the spitting image of His Royal Highness? Everyone in that room was hot for the second prince. Oh, please stop, young Nasquin. Someone will hear you. Anyways, where do you think you're going? You must introduce yourself to the second prince today, young Nasquin. Wait a minute, young Nasquin. What are you trying to do? Why are you climbing up the banister? Excuse me? Are you listening? Don't tell me you're trying to play hooky again. I'm going to see the Duke of Svenbach. You can tell father whatever you want. See ya. No dash. Young Nasquin dash. Later. I should have known when he agreed to come willingly to the banquet. Ugh, what should I tell the Marquis? Nasquin d'Argent, you little rascal. Nasquin d'Argent, successor of the Marquis of D'Argent, thought grimly. Ianfried Hellsdante, the second prince of Hellsdante. He's a cold-blooded bastard. If he ascends the throne, all hell will break loose. So now's the perfect time for the second princess to make her grand debut. Her mere presence has caused a ripple in Ianfried's otherwise smooth road to succession. The only catch is that no one really knows much about Carnephelia, the second princess. What if she's just as evil as Ianfried? That would make things different. I know father isn't happy about my friendship with the Duke of Svenbach. I wonder what his grace has to say about this. He's the one with a real knack for catching things. I know nothing about the dark-haired princess. Carnephelia, I hope you will be the light of the royal family. If you do, I'll gladly play the role of your supporter. That night, Carnephelia dreamed someone was killing her. She gasped, "Who the hell are you?" The thief reacted in shock and asked, "Are you smiling?" The princess replied, "LL." Lil quickly attacked the thief, breaking his neck as ordered. The princess then asked, "Now then, what shall we do with him?" She thought to herself, "This never happened in my previous life. They sent an assassin as soon as the news spread that I was now in line to the throne. How very transparent of them." With a cold smile, she declared, "I know. Let's leave his body in the royal fountain. I want everyone to know that someone paid me a visit in the middle of the night." She reflected, "They gave a poison pellet to an assassin who came to murder an 8-year-old princess. They seem to be more on edge than I expected. Well, there's nothing wrong with that." The next day, Savant entered, commanding, "Search every nook and cranny." A soldier responded, "Yes, sir." Lel angrily said, "How insolent of you. How dare you barge into the second princess's quarters without notice?" Savant replied coldly, "We're only following orders of the High One. Getting in the way would be a direct act of disobedience." The princess asked, "So, did the High One order you to search the quarters of a young, bedridden princess?" Savant hesitated, then revealed, "We found an unknown body inside the royal fountain, and we were given orders to search the entire palace." The princess pressed, "And what does that have to do with me?" Savant answered, "We'll find out, won't we?" Secretly, he thought, what is she going to do about it? She's just a powerless princess. She can feign arrogance, but she won't fool me. Half-blood. She's pretending to be calm, as if she were a real royal. The princess demanded, "So what were the knights doing while the body was being dumped in the royal fountain?" "I only have servants in my quarters. Searching my rooms will only end up embarrassing the High One, don't you think?" Savant warned. "Watch what you say, Your Highness. Be what it may, we were given orders to search the entire palace. We apologize for the inconvenience, Your Highness." One soldier thought to himself, "She's more clever than I thought." The princess calmly said, "I see. I do hope you'll give me some privacy so I can get dressed. I can hardly go out in my nightgown." "Thank you, Savant." Savant was shaken, thinking, How does she know my name? How does she know my name? He stammered. You understood, Your Highness. Do make haste, the princess sternly warned. Don't speak up unless I tell you to. You don't want to die here. Lil quickly bowed. And my apologies, Your Highness. I'll be more careful from now on. The princess told him, don't look out for me, let alone try to protect me. It's not worth losing your life over. Focus on what your master told you to do. I'm telling you this for your own good. Lil stammered, that wasn't my intention, but the princess cut him off. Don't interfere. Stick to the spying so you can survive. Lil asked desperately, but what about you, Your Highness? Those knights could have hurt you just now. Oh, but I'm different. I'm a royal, the princess whispered coldly, just like your real master. Then she straightened herself and asked, are we finished? I need to get going. I don't remember the last time I came out on a walk. I'm sure everyone is busy preparing my meal in the garden. Nanny is probably looking for me right now. Elsewhere, the nanny asked, where is Her Highness? Meanwhile, the princess reflected, thank goodness I came to as a child. I don't get noticed because of my size, and everyone lets their guard down because they think I'm too young. A maid worried quietly about Carnephelia's safety. The princess explained, there's a reason why we came out for a stroll. LL, have you heard of the ghost of the royal villa? She's a poor soul, alive but hardly living, still in search of the daughter and son she lost in the battle for succession, the former empress. Rumored to have gone mad. They say the former empress waits forlornly in the villa for the return of her deceased children. No one wants to set foot there. The princess then smiled faintly. Oh, I can manage on my own from here on, LL. You can head back to my quarters. I'll be back shortly. Wandering alone, she thought, I see yellow flowers here and there. Her palace is full of yellow flowers. The color yellow stands for longing. The scent of the flowers is overwhelming. Finally, she caught sight of a figure and thought, there she is. The princess thought, I don't see a single servant here. Is it because she lost favor with the emperor? Latina asked softly, is it you, Marie? Marie, my poor baby. Mommy knew you were alive. She hugged her tightly and said, you grew up to be such a beautiful child. The princess reflected, her embrace is warm, yet empty. She spoke firmly, snap out of it, Empress Latina. You don't have time for this. If you truly cared about the real Princess Marie, you would get your act together. Latina looked at her in confusion and asked, who are you? The princess bowed slightly and introduced herself. Carnephelia Hells Dante at your service, Your Majesty. Latina muttered, Carnephelia, and thought, that's the name of the second princess. Why did she come to see me? The princess worried, is someone coming? What should I do? It won't do me any good if they find out that I'm here, Latina whispered. Hide behind those bushes. Moments later, knights arrived, bowing. Excuse us, Your Majesty. Did you see anyone here? I thought I heard you talking with someone. After a pause, one said, if you'll excuse me, Your Majesty. Latina asked faintly, is it you, my son? The knight blinked. Pardon me? She brightened. Oh, it's you. You came for me. Do you know how long I've waited for you? How could you not visit your mother for an entire week? You seem to have grown even taller. Another knight smiled quietly. There she goes again. They pulled the first one away. She took you for the deceased prince. I told you she was talking to herself again. Latina was urged, please get some rest, Your Majesty. The princess observed bitterly, how insolent. The former empress may have lost her mind, but she was once the empress of Hells Dante. And she's taking the insults in stride, as if she has no choice. Just because she's deemed weak, Latina thought to herself, that's why people crave power. They don't want to be looked down upon. She turned to Carnephelia and said, why don't we head inside? She clasped the princess's hand tightly and led her away. Latina gestured toward a seat and began pouring tea. So, what made you come here to see me? Carnephelia replied with resolve. I thought hard. I knew there must be someone with the same enemy as mine. Someone who wishes a violent death upon the current empress, the second prince, and their supporters. Someone who hopes to strip them of their power. Who else would want that, I wondered. And that's why I came to see you, Your Majesty. I seek your support, Your Majesty. Latina studied her, surprised. She's a mere child. But she seems to have a will of steel and a strong desire for revenge. The princess said with determination. I sat there and let them take everything away from me. But I won't let that happen again. I'm going to take the Hellsdante Empire away from them. Latina asked. You'd do that, knowing you could lose everything? The princess replied, I have nothing to lose. Latina murmured, Second princess, you're rather strange. I'm having trouble figuring you out. Carnephelia answered, the only thing I have left is my heart and soul. And I'll do whatever it takes to ensure its fall. Latina gazed into her eyes. But those eyes, I can see the truth simmering within. Everything she said just now rings true, she nodded. You seek my support, well then. Can you tell me more about this plan of yours? Carnephelia answered confidently, Of course, your majesty.